All right, what we got is some 1/4-inch thick steel plate. It was a big square, and I just cut a bunch of these with a plasma cutter. Anyway, I cut 8 of these. Because what they're going to do is they're going to fit right here on the bottom of the leg. And then what we're going to do is we're going to weld a nut on here. We're going to weld it on there, and we're going to put this bolt in there so you can adjust the feet so you can make it level wherever you're at. And what I did here is I just measured, they're 3 inches, so I went 1.5 both ways and just made an X or a plus, and then I took this thing, put it in there in the center, and just drew around it. That'll be big enough so this thing will fit through there nice and smooth once the nut's welded on. There's easier ways to do this, but I'm not set up, as you can tell right now, I'm not set up that way. This is the way to do it when you're not set up. This is a pretty quick, easy way to do it though for now. So now what I'm going to do is cut these holes out, and then we're going to weld all the nuts on, and then we'll put them on here, weld them on here. Nut will be on top, like this, and then the bolt when you have your feet. I'm going to cut these holes, and we'll show you as we keep progressing. All right. Just like that. Keep on going. Okay, we got all these cut out now. What we're going to do, I'm going to put a nut on there like that. We're going to weld it on, and that's going to be our foot. Now, this is going to go in here, and this is the floor. So in other words, it's going to be like this. Here's the leg. Going to screw in like this, and you can adjust it. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is weld another square on here, just so it doesn't really, like if you get something real heavy, it doesn't really dig into the floor. Just put a little foot. I don't know. I might round them off and make a nice little foot on there. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but most likely it'll probably just be a little round foot. So what I'm going to do now is weld all these nuts on here. Get them all lined up, 8 of them, 1 for each leg. And I'll show you when I get to there. I don't know if I'll probably weld them on here, or I might show you. I'll show you when I get to this part. I'm going to weld all these up, and then I'll show you when we get to here. If you know how to weld, you know, that's all you do. Put them on here and put a bead around it. All right, I guess I'm going to do that now. All right, we got our feet all done. Got a nut on some metal and a bolt on some metal. Real simple. Take one of these and one of these. Okay. We're going to put this up here like this. This is going to screw in just like that. Now you got adjustable feet. Real simple. Put 4 of them on each table. Real simple. Just cut a hole with a plasma cutter. I cut those circles out. I decided to put some feet on them. I think it would be a little stronger. What I'm going to do now is put these on, weld those on, and we're making progress. Okay, I'm going to do that next. All right, we got our feet done. Nice and adjustable. Simple bolt and a nut on some metal. Real simple, cheap way to go. Strong, very strong foot. We're going to set right here. We're going to weld them on. We're going to have every leg adjustable so you can put it anywhere you want. What I'm going to do now is weld them all on. I'm going to weld them on this one. We got the other feet over here for that table. And we'll take it from there. So let's get to welding this thing. Alright, what we're going to do is tack weld these on here, get them all on, and then we're going to go around and make a bead all the way around it. Just like that. We're going to do all 4 of these and just run the bead all the way around. You don't really have to go all around. You could probably do like an inch on each side or something. I don't know, I'll probably go all the way around now. So I'm going to do that now and I'll show you when I'm done. Okay, as you can see, we got a nice bead around here. I went ahead and welded the whole thing. What you want to do is screw these all the way down. The reason being is that way you have a bigger leg and it's stronger the lower it is in there. So that's it, man. This table's pretty much done. We're going to screw all these down, put it on the floor, put this one up here, and do the same thing with that one now. I'll show you when I get to that. Alright, we got the rest of the legs on this table, plasma cutting part. We just weld it all the way around just like the other one. Next thing we're going to do is put a pan on here and see, it'll catch all the sparks and everything. Other than that, we're going to set it up and show you what it looks like. I'm going to put it along this wall, so I have to clear out everything right here. Other than that, that's it. Alright, what I did is take some of this angle iron, 1 inch, and I ran it along the edges here, and I'm going to run another one right here and right here. But first I got to weld these on. And the reason I'm putting these in is we're going to cut some pieces of square tubing to go across here, like this. And they'll go all the way across, and you have a nice little table if you're cutting stuff or whatever. What it is, this is 7/8, and the angle iron is 1 inch. So it fits on there, it fits flush. It's kind of hard to see because I got a little bit of grinding to do on these. But anyway, it sits right in there just about perfect. That way when you run these across here, you just set them in there and it'll be flush all the way around. Then we're going to have the ones on the edge, the angle iron. I got 2 more pieces. We're going to put one here, one there. And we're going to run long pieces here in case you want to cut, say, a piece of sheet metal. You set it on here and you run the 2 pieces of square tubing, one here and one here. And then you can make a nice straight cut all the way across without stopping or anything. It'll be really nice when it's done. So what I'm going to do is weld this on. And after I get that done, I'm going to cut these pieces to fit right here, and I'll show you how to do that. And it's pretty simple from here on out. We're just about done. But I wanted to get this done, so we'll be finished. Other than that, we're going to set it all up. I'm going to sweep up, clean up in here, and set it up against the wall, and you'll see what it looks like. Okay, so I'm going to weld this now. I clamped these clamps on here to just make sure it's nice and flush all the way around. You know, I'm going to weld it from the bottom, so you're not going to have a big, lump right here when you weld it. You weld it from the bottom, and this is all good. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, let's get to that right now. All right, what I did is welded it on the bottom, like I said, about every 2 inches, 1 inch, 2 inch, something like that. You could have went a whole bead, but you don't need it. This is going to be strong enough. This is going to be really strong, actually. Now, what we're going to do, get this thing back the way it goes. I'm going to put them other 2 pieces in here. I'm going to take these, and we're just going to eyeball it. Doesn't have to be exact. Spread it out there. I'll take a soapstone like this, line it up here, get it close. Doesn't have to be perfect. Mark the top, about right there. And what we'll do, take the other one, line them both up. Come over to the chop saw. Plug this in. Make sure both edges are flush. Line it up with your mark. Just like that. Line it up. We have 2 pieces. No sense cutting 2 at it, or 1 at a time. We got 1 here and 1 over here. Just right. Perfect. Okay. One thing I should mention, you should always wear safety goggles whenever you're grinding or welding. Of course you need a helmet. Always wear goggles. You get something in your eye, bad news. I know a partner that got a piece of metal stuck in their eye, and he lost peripheral vision in his eye. So you don't want to mess around. Sometimes I get lazy, but usually when I'm doing this, I'll close my eyes. So make sure you do that. Okay, I'm going to weld these on, and then I'm going to cut some square tubing to fit across here. And I'll get back to you when we get that done. All right, what this is the pan that's going to go underneath for the plasma cutting. What it'll do is catch all the sparks and stuff so they don't go flying all over that place and burn something. These are the sides. So this one, this goes on this side. These magnets are priceless. They work really good for this kind of stuff. So what I'm going to do is tack this down, both of them on here, and then we'll put the sides on. I haven't cut the sides out yet, but after I tack these on, then I'm going to cut them side pieces out, and we'll go from there. So let's tack this real quick. we're just going to tack the whole thing just like that. Alright, we got all these tacked on now. Take all these off. Like I said, get yourself some of these magnets. They're worth every penny. Alright. We got part of our box here. Got to put the sides on. I got to cut them out. I'm going to weld it up underneath. That's just about it. We'll have a nice table. Okay, we got this thing taken care of now. A nice pan, it's going to go underneath here. Catch everything down there. Now, there's a couple of ways you can do this. You can seal this real good. Put water in here so the sparks will actually just instantly go out. I'm not going to do that because you got to put a plug and all that in here. All I'm going to do is have it like this. The metal chips and stuff will fly in here. And when you want to empty it, you just remove these things. Take it out. Use a vacuum. Just vacuum it right out. You're on for the next job. Next thing we're going to do is weld this thing underneath. It's going to be permanent. There's different ways you could do it. You could have a tray in here and you pull the tray out and dump it. I didn't feel like going to all that work. You could do that though. It'd be pretty simple. You just cut a hole right here. Right here. In fact, I might do it later on. I don't know. Cut a hole all the way across. Just take a sheet metal the same size as this. Maybe build up the edges a little bit. You know, put a little sheet metal on the edges so it'll catch it. And then have a bigger edge right here with a little handle on it, and just pull it out, pull the whole thing out, and just dump the whole thing in the trash can. But for now, I'm going to leave it like this. Pretty simple thing to do, put a tray in. I'm probably going to do it later, but right now I'm going to leave it. Yeah, last thing I'm going to do is weld it on. And that's it. Just about done. Okay, what I did is put the pan on the bottom. I just flipped this table upside down. And we're going to put this pan on the bottom, tack weld the corners, and then I'm going to weld it together. So I'm going to tack this real quick. Alright, we got this thing welded on here. So what we're going to do is flip it over and let you take a look at it. Like that. Now we'll take these. We're going to cut two more from here to go lengthwise in case you got a real long cut. This way is just a cut, and for the chop saw so you can lay metal across here. You could throw some coals in there and have a barbecue if you wanted to. Alright, that is just about it. So I hope you enjoyed the movie. Make your own welding table, plasma cutter, chop saw, the way you want it. It doesn't have to be this long, it doesn't have to be this narrow. It just works good for me because I put them together, now I got a big welding table. I got to level the legs and everything, but that's a big welding table. You don't need much bigger than that unless you're working on hot rods or something. So that's about it. Hope you enjoyed it. Okay, here it is, all done. Got your feet, adjustable feet down there. Got your chop saw. Here's where we do the plasma cutting. All in all, pretty neat. Alright, here it is when you want something big to put on it. This thing will hold a lot of weight.